I'm here with Lori Rheinberger, and we are talking about orchids, and you're a part of the Oregon Orchid Society, right?
That is correct.
So now I think that, first of all, I think a lot of people get intimidated by them, but we're going to try to make it a little easier and less intimidating to be growing orchids as houseplants. So give me some hints about this.
Well, there are really 5 main things that you really need to think about when you're purchasing a plant and you're putting it in your home.
Okay.
They like what we like. They like to grow in our climate. So the good news is that we can actually try to put them next to regular houseplants.
Oh.
So when you're looking at the 5 main things, you want to look at light, you want to look at temperature, you want to look at humidity, and you want to look at watering, and you want to work at your fertilizer.
And so as long as you're paying attention to those 5 pretty simple things, it should work out for you, unless you're one of those people that like your house, you know, like ice cold or sweltering hot. But
exactly.
So if you're comfortable, they're probably going to be comfortable.
That's exactly right.
And if you had to like tell people these are the things that the most common problems, give me some of those.
Well, overwatering is a problem, so you got to watch that.
Now, would that also be a problem with, like, sometimes a lot of us know that there's not a lot of soil in orchids in nature generally.
Correct.
So should we look for plants that are in bark and stuff rather than soil?
Yes, absolutely. Orchids grow best in bark.
Okay.
You don't really grow orchids in soil, so you actually need an orchid bark.
Okay.
And it's also good to get all of your orchids growing in the same medium.
Really?
That way then when they dry out, they'll dry out altogether.
Makes
or
perfect
when you
sense.
water them, that they'll stay the same.
Yeah. Okay, so, you know, how do you overwater then something in bark?
Well, basically, take them over to your sink, water them, and I usually do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let the water drain out, and then put them back on my shelf.
Okay.
And then I like to kind of keep an eye on them, and about once a week, particularly in the winter time. In the summertime, when it gets a little bit warmer, then I water a little bit more often.
So what are a couple more of the problems
Well,
that we generally
of course,
have?
underwatering. You don't want to underwater, so you want to kind of keep an eye on that and look at the plants and things like that. The wrong environment is really a big one, because you've got to have the right amount of light. So if you don't have like southern exposure is really a tough one. Orchids do not like direct sunlight. So usually an east or a morning sun is a good lighting environment for them. So also poor circulation, so you want to kind of keep a fan around them or air movement going along there. So if you have poor circulation, pests, keep an eye on pests and diseases, scale, mealybug. Got to keep an eye on that.
And we've talked to you before, and it's pretty easy to really transplant an orchid. I mean, because we've seen you do it, and you were not gentle. You just tore that thing apart.
They are easy. They're not. It's a little intimidating to buy an orchid. You think that they're kind of scary, but they really do benefit from being repotted, especially if you buy a plant and it starts to go out of bloom. They love to be repotted right after that.
So then it might be smart that when you buy an orchid, ask them, how long has this been in bloom?
Exactly.
So Lori, what should you be asking about or looking for?
I think it's important to look at a plant that's in bud, that actually has some potential and some more blooms that are going to be coming, and that'll stay in bloom for a month or a month and a half after that.
And that makes absolutely perfect sense. So, you know, if you've been thinking about trying some orchids out, you're a little intimidated still, you can go to gardentime.tv. We'll click you over to their website. You can find out great information, events that are going on, classes you can take, and then you can bring beautiful orchids into your own house. Thank you so much, Lori.
Thank you.